So let's talk about, just for maybe people that don't even know what title is.
Right.
What is title?
Holding title is the legal ownership of the property, right? That a title company and underwriter has said, you are the owner, you're the only owner, or you and your wife or partner, right? But whoever's buying this property, you are the owner and you have the legal right to do within the law whatever you want with it, right? To live in it, rent it, open a store there, sell the rights to certain parts of it, which is interesting because you could take, your title, which is everything. Title is actually, you're actually selling the land with improvements, right? So you're not actually buying the house, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
understand this.
interesting. I didn't understand the title is not
Right,
the house.
Megan taught me that, but you're actually buying the land with improvements. So you're buying that land, and it says that nobody else is an owner, nobody else has a claim to it. You are going to be the sole owner, and you have the right to do whatever you want with it, as much as your city will let you, right? So yeah, open a store, put a billboard on it, sell the air rights, sell the mineral rights, rent it, whatever it is. But you are the sole owner, and if you have clear title, means that nobody else can come and lay claim to that property down the road.
And this is one of the fundamental things that makes America great.
Yes.
There's a lot of countries where you cannot.
No.
You go to China, you can't buy land. You can't.
You rent it.
Buy title. You rent. You can rent it from the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah.
Right. So luckily, we live in America where we have property rights. Property rights are one of the fundamental foundations of every great democracy. The first thing you need. So this stuff is complicated. There's a lot of government bureaucracy, but it's important.
It's very important because nobody got into this business to be a title expert, right? None of us read Rich Dad Poor Dad and said, I want to go learn how to abstract title, right? But having a basic understanding of it, like you talked about, will help you in all the other parts of your business. In acquisitions, your acquisitions person's on the phone with Mrs. Smith, and you're on PropStream or one of the other Batch or one of the other services, and you blow up, oh, this is owned by Penelope. Well, Mrs. Smith, who are this other name is on the public record for the property. What is your relationship to them? Oh, that was my mom. She passed away. Great, right? Now we know we have somebody that we can work with, as opposed to the neighbor trying to sell somebody's house, right? Or somebody who is not the owner. And that happens a lot. There is a lot of fraud in the title business. That's why it's actually rapidly changing over the last few years, because there's been so much fraud, whether it be wire fraud or identity theft or just people trying to sell things that aren't theirs.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was working at Express Home Buyers, there was a call that came in. This lady wanted to sell a house. One of our acquisition guys, Greg, goes out to the property, and it's just like a layup. Like we thought he was going to be out there for a couple hours. No, he was there and back in less than an hour. He signed this thing up, and he's like, "That was the easiest close of my life." We sent it to the title company, and the title company was like, "Wait a minute, this person is not anywhere on title."
Right.
We call her up. We're like, "Hey, what's going on? You're not showing up on the ownership records anywhere." She's like, "Oh no, that's my neighbor's house, but she's a hoarder and she's on vacation. So, as a favor, I'm going to sell her house for her, but don't worry, I'm going to give her the money afterwards."
Cross my heart.
This lady didn't even own the property. She's trying to sell her neighbor's house while she's on vacation. I don't think it was malicious. I think it was just
dopey. She doesn't understand what the process is.
Yeah.
But there is
this stuff like that happens.
There are a lot of people that try to commit fraud, or the one that we see the most often, which is very common. Parents die and there's 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 children, whatever, or heirs.
Very common.
This is all the time. And one of them is trying to sell it and not give anybody else money. So
that happens all the time.
Our coordinators will go round and round, once we get the search back. Because as soon as there's a dead person, we're gonna start looking for documents, obituaries, right? Because obituaries are very important and they're accepted as a legal document because most people don't think to lie, right?
Obituary,
right? Because it's the day after and there's grief. But hey, who are all these other people? Oh, I'm in charge. I'm selling it for them. Yeah, we're gonna need everybody's signature.
And this actually, a lot of people are using title strategies in their marketing. They don't even think about it, like list stacking, right? Like that's one of the first things we learn is let's go after pain points, right? Like tax liens, whatever. We stack up all these different pain points, and we're actually targeting title issues. We are. Really. Yeah. If you think about in our marketing, when 100%. We think about a lot of the different lists that we go after, we're really looking for title issues. Yeah. And then oftentimes stacking up title issues, and the more title issues there are, the easier it is for us to get a deal, because that's the indicator of motivation.
Yeah, and that's where investors we really shine, and we help the community, because an agent is not going to solve those problems for 3%. But an investor can come in and say, "Oh, hey, I can fix these problems for you with my title company, with my transaction coordinator, but I can fix these and do the deal that nobody else can do for you."
So I think we're the best clients for title companies because we're repeat business.
Well,
but we're also the worst, right?
The absolute worst.
We have the hairiest files.
Yeah. We bring the crazy to title companies. So, and this is probably a good point to stop and talk a little bit about title companies and what they are. Title is an insurance business. Like, let's be very clear. We have clients all the time that'll call up and say, "Hey, just make the title company do that." Well, the title company, when they issue a title policy and they give you a general warranty deed, they are putting their license, their reputation, everything on the line that says, "I guarantee that there's no problems with this property." Do mistakes happen? Things get missed? Of course, right? They're people. But they're saying that this property is free from all encumbrances and liens and old mortgages, and no distant third cousin is going to pop out of the woodwork saying they have ownership. So, because it's an insurance business, they are insuring, it's title insurance, that you are going to be the free and clear owner of the property. So they're going to take a lot of steps and really look deep as they possibly can to make sure that the transfer happens correctly.
It's so important, guys, to understand these concepts. I think level one is understanding them enough where you can work with a title company. I always recommend you work with an investor-specific title company, not just a regular title. They need to be a title company that works specifically with real estate investors.
There's no guarantee it's going to be perfect, but that's the best place to start.
That's the best place to start. So that's number one. And if you do that, then number two is you got to have an understanding of these things so you can bring down your contract fault rate. Because even if they say they're working with real estate investors, a lot of times they're going to say that they can't solve certain title issues. It happened on the very last deal that I ever did. There was a spouse that showed up on title, and the property owner, I had him sign the contract. His daughter was also on title. She signed the contract. And then the mom shows up, and the title company's like, "Sir, we can't close this. This is a $46,000 assignment fee." I'm like, "Come on, I need this money.
I need this one, right?
I need this money." And they're like, I go to the homeowner. I'm like, they're like, "You have to track down the wife." I call up the homeowner. I'm like, "Well, yeah, when was the last time you saw her?" He's like, "Oh, she's dead." I'm like, "Do you have any proof she's dead?" She's like, "Oh, she was a heroin addict. Last time I saw her was 18 years ago, pushing a grocery cart down the 401 highway." I'm like, oh,
in the eyes of the law, she is not dead.
We actually were able to find out a solution to that. I had to go find some notary that was out of business 15 years ago, and he had some notary book up in his attic, and we were able to get a photo of that. But originally they said, "No, we're not closing this. It's a tracker now, we're not closing it."
You could have closed it, but you would not have had clear title, which is risky.
And we were able to get clear title on it, which was great. So I think level two, and I think that's what got you in the game, is realizing your contract fault rate is high because you don't understand this. Like on the last podcast you came on, you talked about how your title guy was like Mr. No.
We call him Dr. No. He was a James Bond villain. Well, yes. So you've dealt with attorneys. We all deal with lots of attorneys. And attorneys, they always want to give you the platinum plan, right? Yeah, it'd be the thing that's going to generate them the most money. So I would take these contracts in, and it felt like 1 out of 3. Oh, this one's got to be probated. Oh, this one's in bankruptcy, so that needs to be finished. Or, it was just problem after problem, because it was easier to just give it back to me than to fight through all the problems to make $300, right? Because title's not a very lucrative business, despite what people think. So it was just easier to just push it back to me, the investor, and say, figure it out, which is why you want to have a good transaction coordinator, somebody who understands and can work through these problems. But yeah, over and over again, I was just taking these contracts, crumpling them up, and throwing them away until I got good at asking the right questions, until I understood, because the pain of losing these deals
so expensive.
Was so much, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You did $238 million in closings last year. We're on track to do 350 this year. You saw how painful it was in your business.
100%. I mean, I felt
see
the pain.
It across the country. What's the average contract fault rate nationwide for wholesalers?
Outside of us and like our business, it's almost 50%.
Almost 50%. That's literally, guys, that's half of our revenue going down the drain.
Yeah, we talked to First American the other day, and they said they are seeing in Florida a fallout rate of 60%. And that's
60%.
retail and investor business.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
So this, guys, this is actually the most expensive thing. I see so many guys are like, oh, my tax strategy. Oh,
how about you just stop losing deals that you've already
just
put the
stop
money
losing
into?
deals.
Yeah.
If you just, a healthy contract follow rate, I don't think you can get lower than about 20%. That's probably about the best I ever got.
Yeah, and that's going to vary too. Are you a local investor? Are you virtual? And there's going to be other things that come into, did the seller lie to you, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of
There's going to be
variables.
some stuff.
It's, if I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's very hard for me to do some things in Phoenix, right? Like just some things I can't do just because of proximity.
Yeah.
But yeah, lower than 20 is pretty rare unless you're just literally closing on every deal yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do know some guys that are like near 100%.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's hard to do at scale.
Tim Harridge, and I talked to him, he's only ever bounced on one deal.
That's incredible.
And all in it, but again, different strategy. When we're talking about these fallout rates, we're talking about
They're really
wholesalers.
Wholesalers.
Yeah, wholesalers
really
who are
hairy.
yeah, and they're working virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the next level. So you got to understand it. Then once you understand it, you got to be able to work with a title company to make sure that you don't have 50% contract follow rate. Like
Right.
if you have 50%, and a lot of it's, there's different reasons, but if a lot of it's from title,
Yeah.
you might want to think about working with someone else.
Yeah.
And then level 3, what we're going to talk about is some of the advanced strategies on how you can, if you understand this stuff, really do insane deals that no one else can do.
Yeah, if you don't have somebody that you're working with that can help you close these deals, if you don't understand at least the process of how it works, you're literally lighting money on fire because you've spent that money, right?
Yeah.
You've bought your leads, you paid for Google, you've sent direct mail, you put out bandit signs, whatever it is, right? Like all of those things are time and money. And then you did the acquisitions. Even if you did it yourself, it's still your time. If you have a team, you've paid those people, right? And they're excited. They ring the bell, they hit the gong, like it's going to be a great assignment fee. You went through all the things, the dispo, you paid for Investorlift, you did, like you have spent a ton of money getting up to this point.
Time and effort.
Right, to have 40 or 50 or 60% of your deals just get flushed down the toilet, right? If we can save one of those a quarter, just one, you're talking about adding $100,000 to your business. And that's the minimum.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm so excited about this and passionate about this. David's company, Easy REI Closings, actually came to fruition after the very first Investorlift Cartel Law Summit.
Remember, I told you guys, I'm going to start this business. Everybody said, you're
crazy.
crazy. You're out of your mind. Corey Geary. He's like, that's brain damage. Don't do that.
But I liked the idea.
Yeah, you did.
I'm like, this would be really good for everyone.
You're like, you need to quadruple the price you want to charge. You need to charge
that was the
more.
only thing. I was like, you need to charge a lot more because like this is very valuable. I understood how valuable it was. So you created Easy REI Closings a few years back, incredibly successful, on track to do 350 million in closings this year. Yeah. I've always said for years, I'm like, David,
we've said it.
Eventually, we're going to get into title. And when we do, I want to do it with you because you're the best in the business.
I have a great team.
You
I will say that.
Incredible team.
They are awesome.
Absolutely incredible team. Shout out to everyone.
Yeah, Heather and Megan and Morgan, all of them.
Everyone that's working behind the scenes to make these deals happen every day. They're the best. They epitomize 11 out of 10. Yeah. So super proud officially to announce today the creation of Investorlift by Investorlift.
Yeah.
For the very first time, Investorlift is going to be able to offer you title services and full transaction coordination services.
All bundled into one, which has never been done.
Everything you need, all bundled into one.
Yeah.
Never done before.
Yeah.
And it's built right inside of Investorlift and is live for all of you guys today. So the next time you have an offer that comes through Investorlift, when you go click accept that offer, if you set the title company is Investorlift, you're going to be able to upload your purchase contract, your sales contract. Yeah. That'll automatically fire over to David's team. Yep. It'll open the title file, and we will do the entire thing for you. So
it's literally a concierge white glove service. So no longer do you have to hire some outside transaction coordinator or pay $80,000 to have one in-house. All of it is going to be done by us in our office. We will contact the seller. We will gather the documents. We will talk to the buyer. We will get all of his corporate docs. Literally from you, I just need those contracts, the contact information, and we will take it from there. Of course, great communication. We'll make sure that you're updated and you understand everything that's happening along the way. But I want you focused on getting your deals done, right? Go out and get your next deal. Go talk to your seller. Go talk to your buyer. Let us get those things done. We'll work like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, making sure that these deals are getting closed as quickly as possible. But sometimes they're crazy and take a year, right?
Yeah,
but instead of you
happen.
flushing that deal down the toilet and walking away from it, let us work it and get it closed. You go out and get more deals. Let's make a lot of money.
So guys, where we're going with this on the MVP, it's very simple, but where we're headed with this over the next year is every step of the title process is going to be built inside of Investorlift. So you'll be able to see, if there's document requests or if the EMD is made or the title is finally clear. Right now, the properties just go to status sold. We're going to keep on adding more statuses. That'll integrate with David's entire team, and you'll be able to see your money moving through the pipeline over to closing. And super, super excited about that. It's not going to be the cheapest, right?
No, it will be the best.
We're going to be the best.
I guarantee
if you want the cheapest, we're not for you.
Yeah, go down the corner and bang your head against the wall.
But if you want, here's the thing too. You don't actually need to pay for it. Just add one line in your contract saying buyer will pay whatever transaction coordination fee. This is not all you got to do is add that one line. It doesn't cost you any money. Now you don't have to think about it. You're working with the best in the world. If you're doing a few deals a month, you don't need an in-house GC.
No. Even if you're doing 30 deals a month, and we have a lot of clients that are the mega cartel boss, mega wholesalers. No, absolutely not. You need to be focused on the thing that drives revenue in your business, and that is, your marketing, acquisitions, and dispositions. Not, collecting lost death certificates from a seller, right? And absolutely do not have your dispositions person doing that. Turn that over to the people who are the real experts.
And guys, the reason why we're doing this is, first of all, every title company in the world wants to do this.
Yeah.
But before doing something like this, I always do my homework. Every time a title company came to me, I would call all their clients. And let me just say, the reviews were mixed. But every single time I called someone, I'm like, hey, what do you think of David Old's Easy RA closings? How are things going?
Thank you.
Never heard a single bad word. Every single person's like, David's the best. His team's the best. They protect my revenue.
My team is the best. I'm good, but they are amazing.
Absolutely incredible team. Yeah. So guys, check it out inside of Investorlift. If you're not on Investorlift, but you still want to use this service, you can. Just go to TitleLift.com. Submit the form there. David's team will reach out. And super excited to dive into this series. So this is just a brief introduction. We're going to be diving deeper. So continue through the playlist, and hopefully you guys get a lot of value. If you get a lot of value, drop a level of 10 in the comments below.